This is a great comment right here. Listen, when you're a Christian, right? Oftentimes the things that God calls us to do does not make any sense to the world. Let me give you an example. Blind man's come, been blind, needs to be cured of his blindness. You know what Jesus does? Grabs some dirt and spit in his hand and rub it into his eye. Paralytic comes, hasn't ever walked before. You know what Jesus does? Walks up right to said man and tells him, pick up your mat and walk. So the point I'm trying to make is this, man. Oftentimes God calls us to do things that do not make no sense to the naked eye, does not make sense to man and worldly wisdom. But God has a plan. He's above our ways and our thoughts. He knows what he's doing. And for somebody like David, listen, even if he is a wolf in sheep's clothing, I don't believe he is, but people are saying that he is, right? Even if he is, right? God has taken that and he's still using it for the good. There's people who are coming to the knowledge of the Christ through David. There's people who are coming to the knowledge of what's about to come in this country, these end time prophecies and stuff through David. And the reason being, the Bible talks about this, it's because there is a literal veil over their eyes where they cannot see things of the spirit because they're walking in the flesh. Perfect example. We all were like that before we came to the knowledge of Christ. There are things that I've done, ways that I thought, things that I spoke, and all that I couldn't even imagine doing now that I'm saved. That I couldn't even imagine thinking those kind of ways now that I'm saved because the veil has been lifted off of my eyes. There were so many things that I was cool with before that are absolutely a no-go for me right now because the veil has been lifted. So we must understand that people have a veil over their eyes for them that is keeping them from seeing the truth. The main thing I want to get across, though, is this. Look, I know that God has called me to do what I'm doing, right? And I know that God is calling other people to do other things that are similar to what I'm doing, making videos, starting channels, preaching, teaching, helping, giving, all kinds of different things that God has called us all to do, right, in these times that we're in. And just as a body of Christ, as a whole, like in general, right? My whole point was this. Something big is coming. Time is running out, and we need to get on our stuff. As a body of Christ, we need to get on our stuff, man. Time for excuses is over with. It's time to get started. No more excuses. Just do whatever it is he's calling you to do. He will provide. That is the greater message behind David walking the walk, man. The walk is not about him even just walking the walk. The walk is about letting God's people know that when it comes down to it, right, and you find yourself you're back against the wall, or you're walking into whatever it is that God is calling you to walk to, that he's going to provide for you. That is a greater message there. That is the spiritual teaching that is there, and what this man is doing is that God will provide for you, even if you don't have anything. So what are you waiting for? Look, thank you so much for leaving this comment, because I believe that this is something that needed to be explained and people need to know. But listen, go ahead and go. Time is winding down. Jesus is coming back soon, and we all need to be ready.